This is it, my friends. The episode where we start building and I can unleash my theme for the season. I think you're going to love it. But first of all, I had yet one more errand to run. And we are at our destination. I've been on an adventure. I've been traveling across lots of snowy cold biomes without my armor on, now that I think about it. Jeez, I should put this stuff back on. And I've gotten myself some ice across the way. I've seen some interesting sights. And now we have reached our destination where I can get the one thing that I need, a sunflower. Now, of course, what we can do with this is dye it using our bone meal supply and then get all the yellow dye that we need. But I only need a tiny bit. And what's really ironic is that I've probably walked past hundreds and hundreds of these little dandelion flowers on my way over here. You know, I could have just punched a few, but I thought, hey, let's go get the sunflower. Then we got yellow dye for the rest of the season. So for this season of Hermitcraft, I want to focus on base building on a scale I haven't really done before. Throughout this massive jungle, we will be building many things. Skyscrapers and structures, paths to connect things together. And the reason I picked this biome is because it's absolutely massive. We can spread out, we can do something on a large scale, but it's also gorgeous, it's green, it's luscious, it's full of life. And this is part of the harmony I want to create between my build style and the environment that it's in. We're going to go for something utopian and futuristic, and I want to put it in the jungle so it creates a sense of harmony with nature. We'll have futuristic structures and skyscrapers, and they'll always be surrounded by bright greenery, giving us a sense that the technology, the future, works with the planet. So it will be utopian, futuristic, and in harmony with its environment. And I'm considering maybe calling it the Harmony Project, but I don't think I want to get into that just yet. We're going to let the inspiration flow, as I've got inspiration for building, and I'm just going to gather some materials in a moment. But this is where our first building is going to go, and it's not going to be a skyscraper, it's going to be one of the more obscure buildings. It's going to be like a tube laid down on its side, and that's why we had this temporary platform full of slabs. All of this stuff is going to go, and we're going to build a shell around our bee farm. So the area here has been cleared for construction, and as you can see, I've put placeholders in for our bee farm. We're going to be doubling honey production on this side and then having honeycomb production on the opposite side. So let's talk about the palette for this and the palette for many of our builds. The dominant color we're going to use is white. I want to have a very clean and pristine feel for our builds as we're going for futuristic that's in harmony. I want it to look clean, and that's why we're going with these two blocks. White concrete, though, will be the dominant of the two. Then each of the builds are going to have accent colors. This one is going to have yellow because it's where the honeys are, and the accent colors will basically be based off of the skin. We're going to go with orange, yellow, maybe on occasion red, and light blue for those eyes as well. Those are some of the accent colors you're going to see on the buildings in the area. Then we have the base colors. These are like the more structural colors to complement the brighter white. We're going to have cyan terracotta and maybe black terracotta. I am, although, playing around with some other textures, but for this build we're going to go exclusively with cyan terracotta. And then last of all, we have the interiors. The interior of this build is going to be quartz and black wall, and quartz will definitely be more common as it's nice and clean and it's going to match the white concrete. And maybe other structures will have different types of interior, but that's what we're going for on this one. So now you know why I've been mining the terracotta, gathering lots of bones, getting our gravel and sand together for concrete, and of course the black wall. My friends, it is time to start construction of our base. Insanity, my friends. Insanity. The amount of blocks going into this build, and to think this is possibly one of the smaller builds for my plans, but the preparations I've made have made it all possible, and it hasn't actually taken that long. If you think things through, you can usually do a build like this in a decent amount of time. Now the torch spam we have going on here is a sign of a work in progress. It makes the build look quite hideous, and I have plans in the short term to remove them from the inside, but on the outside I'm not so sure. You see, with our base and our projects here, I'm very conscious of mobs being able to spawn in the area, and I have a plan for disabling that or stopping it to some extent inside of the jungle. But right next to our builds, or on top of them, in the short term, it's just going to have to remain as torch spam until we get our hands on nicer blocks. But anyway, I don't want to get too bogged down in the details of things that are temporary. I just kind of want to crack on with building. And so we're going to add the accent, the color accent next. This is what's going to go down the sides of either of the builds, and every build will have its own color accent, although some of them are going to be the same as others. This one is yellow. Yellow for the bees. So, do you remember that shulker box full of wool? I got a feeling that might not actually be enough for the interior here. It's actually going to go all the way across the floor, up the walls, and across the ceiling. It's going to be absolutely mad in here. And down at the bottom, we can of course use carpets. And then going over to the edge, we're going to have wall blocks just over here. And those will have carpets on as well. That is to prevent things from spawning. They then come all the way up to the walls here. And wherever we have blocks that you don't really see, we're going to salvage our resources and just fill it in with cobblestone. And then the walls will go up and around like this. Now what I really want to do at this point is actually show you the entrance. So let's build up a little bit more carpet. Let's get into another bit of time lapsing. And I can't wait to show this entrance to you. Oh man, that sound it makes when all the bees pop out of their nests, fantastic. And I did that because we have quite a few less hermits on at the moment. And so when we have less of us online, it means things like this ain't going to impact the performance of the game for other players. But I love that we got that on-off switch integrated. Let's talk about the project for a moment. Still a long ways to go, believe me. But this is fantastic. We had just enough honey blocks to build the entrance here. And it looks really cool from the outside here. I love it. Although the view is kind of awkward. We've got trees in the way and we're kind of low down here. Building the paths and the approach to buildings is important too. And that stuff is going to come later on. Also, when I was building this, I had trouble like making my way up because yeah, you can't jump up and down on these things, and I totally forgot about that. And yeah, anyway, the honey blocks. Speaking of the honey blocks, I had less than usual because earlier in the day I made a little deal with Mr. Mumbo Jumbo, aka Bumbo Baggins. Oh, hello there, Mumbo.
That looks incredibly elegant, and I'm very, very jealous of the fact that you already seem to be rocking an Elytra.
Yep, I went straight to the end this season. I was like, I just want to get straight to the end game, you know?
It suits your skin quite massively as well. The wings and everything like that.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like the perfect combination.
Speaking of my skin, what am I, Mumbo? What am I?
Well, I would have thought a bee. I mean, if you have a bee head, I don't know if this is a trick question. I feel like this could be a trick question.
It's not a trick question. I am a bee, and
Okay, good.
what do bees produce?
They produce honey. I assume.
Yes. And what does
Okay.
Mumbo love?
I do love honey blocks. This is a very good point.
Okay, yeah. Mumbo loves honey blocks.
I can kind of see where this is going.
Let's have a look in here. Oh, what do I see?
I'm a bit insulted by the fact that you also seem to have shulker boxes as well. Okay, so you have, that is quite a ridiculous quantity of honey blocks.
Yeah. My plan was just like, hey, I want to go straight to the end game. I want to build farms, ridiculous buildings. I'm not going to mess about. I got all this done. But I mean, you love your slime blocks, you love your honey. You know, Iscal's just set up a slime shop, and now we've got the honey shop for you. I expect to see amazing things from Mumbo, but we should strike up a deal.
Okay. I'm interested in deals. Now, I will warn you that the last time somebody came to me with a deal, which was Iscal, he did leave with only 12 bamboo. So it wasn't a great deal on his part. But you know, I'm in a better mood this morning, so I'm more open to negotiate.
Well, a better mood is a good idea. I mean, I can think of one thing I'm in need of right now, and that is iron to make a beacon.
Right. Okay, that's handy. That's very handy because I'm in the middle of building an iron farm right now. Hopefully, it's going to be operational by the end of the day.
Ooh.
So, what you thinking? You thinking we're gonna have like a? How would you like to structure this deal? Would it be 1 for 1, 1 honey block for 1 iron ingot, or I mean, you know, what
I was hoping you would have said iron block, but it is too pricey, isn't it? Look, I know this. I'm gonna need 1, 2, 3, probably 4. No, I'll go. I'm gonna keep three of these stacks for myself, right? So there's a clean 4 stacks there. Whatever you think that's worth in iron, I'm happy you taking that and then giving me the iron at a later date.
Okay, so it's kind of like a honey block loan. All right, okay.
Honey block loan. I'm the bee mafia. All right.
That is very much appreciated. Expect to see your iron delivered in the form of like a walking spider machine type thing, gradually moving over the landscape.
And the bee mafia. If you don't repay, you get stung.
Oh, okay. That's absolutely terrifying.
Oh, by the way, I have a small request.
Yeah.
Can I see your skin? I've heard wonderful things.
Oh yes,
oh my God,
the Mumbo Baggins.
That's beautiful.
I have so much junk in my inventory. It's just gradually all coming out. But yeah, the Mumbo Baggins. I'm fully embracing the Hobbit life at this point in time.
This is the best thing ever. The skins saga of Hermitcraft now. Everyone's changing their skin.
Yeah, every single episode, everyone seems to have something completely different.
Yeah, Mumbo Baggins. That is glorious.
Well, I don't think there's any puns that I can think of for Exuma other than like Buzzuma, maybe.
Buzzuma, Beesuma is very popular, but Buzzuma
of course,
is also amazing.
Yeah, that's much better.
By the way, this parrot laid an egg. I'm very concerned.
Yeah, that's the prize-winning parrot. Yeah, he's a bit of a strange one. We leave him be. He's quite aggressive. We have to give him like at least 5 meters of. Yeah. We have to stand back from that one.
Well then, my friend, that's a good deal. Hopefully, I'll see some iron soon. For now, I'm gonna make a dramatic exit.
You know, it pains me so much that you can do that. I need to get myself to the end.
I will tell you where to go, my friend. I'll tell you where to go. So hopefully in the near future we'll be getting some iron blocks from Mumbo, who's been online overnight. So I'm hoping that his iron farm is working out well for him. And we are going to jump back into another time lapse in a moment. I just want to introduce you to what we're doing next. This floating structure needs some support around it, something that holds it up, and that is going to be terracotta blocks, these cyan or grey coloured ones, depending on how you look at it. And we're going to add like straps that wrap around the sides here, and then they're going to come down, and under the ground they're then going to become supports, like so. They're going to be 3 wide, and as you can see I put some scaffolding in place to tell myself where exactly I'm going to be building. And that, my friends, is how you do a time lapse. Oh, that was so much fun. And there is still a ways to go, as I'm sure you can imagine. We need to place bone blocks under here, because this thing is going to be supported by the cyan terracotta, but also some bone blocks that are going to extend down from the bottom into the ground like this. Now, one of the problems that we have here is that the ground is actually a little bit too low for my liking, or what I mean is they're too close together. So we're actually going to come in here and rip out all of this. And there is a lesson to be learned here, that clearing out the canopy floor is not actually the way that I want to go. Canopy is actually a term reserved for the top of the jungle. And so we're clearing out this area, which will all get cleared out. But when we start to make our way downwards, what I don't want to actually do is clear out the floors. Now, when it comes to mob spawning in the jungle, there's a reason you don't encounter a lot of mobs, and that's because there are actually leaf blocks all over the ground, and mobs can't spawn there. So underneath our build, rather than having things lit up, I'd actually like to have these different types of leaves. We've got some jungle, we've got some oak, basically covering the entire floor. So what I'm going to do is kind of recreate it by coming back in here and plopping down some occasional jungle logs, which aren't really necessary to keep the leaves from despawning, but then we're going to do some of this of our own. It's actually just the oak that ends up down the bottom here, right? So I might end up using one material. Now, what I'll also end up going around and doing is filling the gaps from the natural stuff as well. And we can do that not just underneath our builds, but all over the place. So let's say I notice that there's some mobs spawning over in this area. I could come around, throw one over here, put a couple in over here, and with not too much work, we can basically prevent mobs from spawning around here as well. When it comes to some of the ledges like this, I have the option to actually extend all of this up the side here, or maybe in these areas I'll just throw down a few torches, which will, for now, illuminate this cave. And I like the lighting, but the torch spam kind of sucks over there, so maybe we won't use torches in the jungle. Maybe we'll come up with something else. Anyways, we're not going to be taking care of any of that stuff right now, because I have 0 deaths so far this season, and there are a couple other hermits that have 0 deaths as well, and a challenge has been proposed to us that have 0 deaths. So welcome to the Hermitcraft Mesa, not to be confused with our mining mesa. This is the one near the mushroom biome, and over here Ren has built a saloon, and it's just a gorgeous build that you gotta take in, you know what I mean? It looks amazing. This thing is called Dead Dog Gulch. Dead Dog Gulch. Sounds a little bit grim, but it is a gorgeous, gorgeous build. And it says, wanted, 0 death club, dead or alive. Don't you mean alive? I mean, if you're dead, you're not in the 0 death club, but let's head on inside and just appreciate this. What a lovely build right here. I did happen to notice it isn't stocked up though, so I can't fetch a drink while I'm here. But that's fine, we're here to wage a bet. I just had a little flick through the Game of Life challenge over here. It's pretty simple. Basically, this is a waging system for us hermits that are still alive. That's me, Doc, and Ren. And essentially, I can wage as high an amount of diamonds as I like. So I could put 100 diamonds in here, right? I'm not going to put that many in. And then the other two have to match the bet. But the thing is, if I then die before those two, those 100 diamonds have gone to waste. And this early on in the season, I don't really have a lot of diamonds, do I? So let's go a little higher than Ren. Ren would have to come back and match mine with another 5 diamonds. I'm going to put 15 diamonds in to say that I'm going to be the last time it left alive. So from this point onwards, I really need to have my wits about me, as there are diamonds on the line here, and we could earn ourselves a fair few as well, or we might lose the 15 that we just waged, or possibly more, because Doc is the other hermit left alive, and he might actually put a bigger wager on, and knowing him, that would be the kind of thing he'd come in and do, right? Swoop in with a huge bet at the last minute. Oh, it's making me feel a little bit tense, because apparently there might even be a showdown over here, some sort of gunslinging match, something that Ren was talking about, who knows. Anyway, I want to leave you with a video that I think you might enjoy. It is about the history of Hermitcraft, and another server that False and Mumbo played on with me, known as Geomine. That server used to actually run off my computer way back in the day. It's over on my Asuma Says channel, and you can probably find a link to it on the screen in the description. This is where we're wrapping up the episode, peeps. I do hope you have enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like, and I'll see you soon in another one. Bye-bye.